Fame, flashy cars, wild parties, a million followers. For some Kenyan secular artists, this was once everyday life. But behind the glitz, some were spiraling into addiction, crime, depression, and even jail. Today, we take you through real-life stories of Kenyan 10 music stars who lost it all, and against all odds, fought their way back to the spotlight. These are the stories of pain, redemption, and the price of fame. Sit back and enjoy. This is From Fame to Struggles and Back. Let's begin. Before we proceed further, subscribe to our YouTube channel Radido TV and follow my TikTok channel for more.
Yeah, Brasil, I'm still heavy up in this game. Bado na wakilisha. Yeah, come on.
You heard about
Brasil.
All eyes on me.
Brasil.
In the early 2000s, Jackson Makini, popularly known as Brasil, was the undisputed king of Kenyan hip-hop. His flash lifestyle, designer clothes, and entourage made headlines with hits like Naleta Action,
Excuse me, miss. Jina langu ni Jackson. Together me and you tutaleta action.
and Let's Get Down. He became a symbol of Nairobi's urban dream. But behind the scenes, the fame took its toll. Brasil admitted to struggling with substance and abuse and losing control of his life. Constant controversies, including erratic behavior on live TV and physical altercations.
You know, like in between that time, like I said before, Daisy, Mama Zari loved Ngechu, but she hated Brasil, you know, and she wanted me to stop doing music and probably be an accountant or a teacher somewhere, or, you know, a carpenter, anything but not music, you know. And I was like, man, I spent so much time, blood, sweat, and tears into building this brand. I'm not going to let it go just like that. So from that point onwards, like, you know, I left them with that mansion that I was living in, and I took another penthouse just down the road, you know, in PS Park. And that's where, you know, Brian Smalls.
But Smalls, yeah.
Yeah, Smalls was living in that compound too, and all that, you know. So for like maybe a year, I lost myself, you know. For 1 year, like, I used to have my bodyguard bringing me food, bringing me whatever I want at the house. I never left the house for a whole year.
Yo.
It was like I was in house arrest, you know. And I was slowly but surely getting into depression.
But in recent years, Brasil has shown signs of transformation. He entered rehab, began advocating for mental health and addiction recovery, and even ventured into politics. His re-entry into the music scene has been more mature, a man shaped by pain, now chasing purpose.
Life is a jungle. Life will show you a lot of struggles. Life.
Naughty Flow once embodied the bad girl persona of Kenya music industry. Bold lyrics, controversial relationships, and uncensored interviews. Her social media was a cocktail of luxury, drama, and chaos. But the high life masked deep-rooted trauma, childhood abuse, and a toxic cycle of emotional distress. She later revealed battling depression and turning to substance use to cope. Her relationships were highly publicized, often ending in turmoil, and her career took a nosedive as fans grew tired of the scandals.
What actually really happened between you and Mustafa?
A lot really. He cheated on me. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
He cheated on me, that's why I broke up with him, yeah. But apart from that, there's actually a lot of factors that I consider in a relationship. For you to be my boyfriend, you have to have ambitions, you have to have goals, you have to have, you know, like plans for the future. And if you don't have any plans really, for me, I have big plans for myself, and I'm not going to let someone like drag me behind. Because the whole time I've been with him, he's not dropped any song, he's not telling me any future plans. So yeah, It wasn't working.
But 2023 marked a new naughty flow. She returned to music with a rebranded sound, openly discussed mental health, and started mentoring young girls from informal settlements. A transformation stunned many, proving there is more to her than headlines and controversy. Bamboo, once one half of the legendary hip-hop duo Bamboo and Abbas, was at the top of his game in the early 2000s. With razor-sharp bass and street credibility, Bamboo helped shape Kenyan hip-hop golden age. But as the fame grew, so did the temptation, drugs, fast money, and ego. Bamboo disappeared from the scene and re-emerged years later, but not as a rapper. He had found faith and a near-death experience while battling substance abuse and mental instability. His transformation shocked many. He switched to gospel, speaking in churches and using music to preach.
When I made that decision, it definitely made my parents very happy. But I think a lot of parents are trying to teach their children what Christianity is, but they don't know how to explain it. Mm-hmm. They don't know how to put it across. They don't know how to explain why it is teach these things. So it just looks like some religious practice, and they don't understand what's going on here. Why are you doing this? Why are you praying? Why are you abstaining from these things all of a sudden?
Now, Bamboo is one of the few secular stars who have fully turned their backs on that life, using his story to pull others from the abyss. Colonel Mustafa, once half of Doc's Vultures, was a darling of Kenyan media. Their hits like Mona Lisa and Kinyaunyaun ruled airwaves. Mustafa was the face of fame, expensive rides, nightclub appearances, and a calendar packed with gigs. But fast forward to the year 2024, and viral photos of Mustafa working at a construction site left Kenyans stunned. The artist had fallen on hard times, his mother battling cancer, and he had no choice but to hustle to pay medical bills.
Kukuwa na mpenzi ama haujawahi?
Kwa hapa nyuma? Nimekaa sana. Mimi nimekaa bila kuna time mtu alikuwa watu walikuwa wakisema wanakaanga long distance ama miezi 3-6. Mimi nimekaa. Yani kwa sababu hakuna kitu naweza fanya. Life imekuwa expensive, siwezi peleka mrembo. So I think nimekaa mpaka nikazoea. Nimekaa mpaka mimi nikazoea, nikasema it's okay.
He later opened up about depression, alcoholism, and being abandoned by the industry. Kenyans rallied behind him. A GoFundMe was set up, and even the government extended support. Now he is back in the studio, full of humility and gratitude, using his pain to power a new chapter.
Mrefu sija kuona Colonel natoa ngoma nimekusaka kila kona.
Remember under 18?
Kumbe ni under 18 sami ningejuaje.
That was Jimwat, the street smart cheeky rapper who captured Kenya's youth with relatable sheng rhymes. But as fast as he rose, he fell. Jimwat sank into alcoholism during the peak of his career, missed shows, lost deals, and alienated fans. Years later, he opened up about how fame overwhelmed him and how alcohol became a way to numb pressure. At one point, he almost died of alcohol poisoning and checked into rehab.
Then it started off like a hobby, but it got to a point where you need the alcohol in your system. So it goes from a hobby or a casual thing, it's like you're employed. You need this alcohol to function. In your mind, that's what you believe. So it's like my producer used to tell me, Clemo, he used to tell me like, Jimmy works so hard to get this money, and when you get it, you just go and drink, and you have that kind of illusion kind of life, because it's not real. You're forgetting your priorities and your responsibilities. Instead of paying rent, you're spending much money in the bar, like you're paying rent in the bar than paying it in the house. So it starts off just like that, detolling, it becomes a habit, and a habit is a disease, to the point that I had to go for rehab and recovery.
Jimwat has since sobered up. His comeback hasn't been flashy. Instead, it's been quiet, reflective, and mature. He now performs at youth mentorship forums and uses his music to address addiction and choices. His stories prove that healing is possible. Kush Tracy exploded onto the scene with club bangers like Wezi Ni Dandia. Her style was edgy, her lyrics provocative, and her confidence unshakable. But fame came with demons, broken relationships, peer pressure, and alcohol. In 2018, she shocked fans by announcing her salvation and quitting secular music altogether. She revealed how she has been silently battling depression, suicidal thoughts, and the emptiness of stardom. Today, Kush is a gospel artist and speaker. She mentors young girls, sings in church concerts, and shares her journey openly. The transformation was drastic, but it's one that continues to inspire others caught in similar webs.
So many things will happen to you, and it's okay to not be okay. It's okay to get to that point where you feel like, I'm just tired of this life. Because me, I got to that point, I was very suicidal at some point, and I even tried it, but Mungu ni nani, niliamka tu nikiona kichwa nilikuwa nimeenda dunda nikakunywa mzinga peke yangu, and I hadn't, like literally.
So what did you try to do?
No, I tried pulling the painkillers thing, but the headache I had the next day, I was like, why did I even do this?
How many tablets did you take?
I can't even remember.
DNA.
Banjuka was an anthem, and DNA was the king of Gengeton before the term even existed. But with fame came temptation. DNA fell into a life of drugs and alcohol that nearly ruined his career. Scandals, arrest, and wild behavior followed.
So many times my kids have been the reminder I needed that I can't check out of the game. Because there's been dark moments in this game, bro.
Deep.
There's been dark moments in this game. And unasema sasa tunafanya nini?
Have you ever been suicidal? Your self-esteem might allow. I'm joking.
Well, I've thought about... There's times if you think about like, oh man, this life makes no sense. But that's the button you push that you don't get to come back from.
At one point, he went missing from the music scene, only to return as a gospel artist, having gone through rehabilitation and therapy. DNA later confessed to battling deep identity loss during his rise and using substances to escape the pressure of expectations.
You know, be in nature, be with people. When I felt at my worst, at my lowest, what I did was throw myself in with the less fortunate. And it always lifted my spirits.
Damn.
Yeah, man. Unaenda kwa children's home, una hang out nao siku mzima.
Yo.
Hey, mazo unaona wase yani wako, unaona watu wanategemea Mungu, hakuna style ingine wako nayo.
Niko, tena sana. Hey. DNA. Na mali Mungu amenitoa saa zingine hata mimi siamini, man.
Now, he is a family man, still doing music and coaching young creatives on managing success responsibly. His lessons: fame is dangerous if your soul isn't grounded. Avril, the queen of Kenyan pop R&B, was the voice behind emotional ballads like Chokoza and Nikimuona. Her beauty and fame made her a darling of tabloids, but behind the glam was pain. Avril later revealed she had suffered in an abusive relationship, battled postpartum depression, and at one point struggled with alcohol while trying to keep up appearances.
Ulijifungua mwaka jana? Mtoto wako na umri gani sasa?
Miezi 11, soon to be 1 year.
Okay. Yeah. Safari ya kuwa mama imekuwa vipi?
Imekuwa amazing. Imekuwa, of course, na changamoto zake kwa sababu initially kulikuwa na hiyo transition, nilikuwa najiuliza, am I honestly going to be able to make this? First, being a career woman, wewe mwenyewe unaelewa. Hiyo transition kutoka ati sio utakokaa kwa nyumba, unashughulikia things in the house, this and that. Mimi nimezoea nile kwa nyumba, yes, napika mdogo nini, safisha mbio, watch TV, go back to sleep. In the morning, kimbia out, do this, do that. Yani my young world is kuga engaged 24/7. And after this
just music kama kuna vitu
music, yeah, and a few other things here and there. Kuna kazi fulani nufanya, including social media influencing and this and that.
Okay.
So here comes a situation that I have to be on bed rest for a month. You know
why bed rest for?
No, as in, you know, my mom alikuwa na insist you have to be So it became depressing to some point. I'm like, me, I'm so used to being up and down.
Okay.
I love I feel nilipuuza sana the fact that simejifungua, so kama nyanyangu alijifungua na akaingia shambani akaendelea kufanya job zake, why should I be, pampered and all this and all this?
Okay.
So 2 months postpartum, I was back to work.
Okay.
3 months I was back on stage.
The pressure of being perfect for fans while crumbling in private nearly broke her. But after years of struggle, I've really bounced back. She took time off, got therapy, returned stronger, and now speaks openly about motherhood, mental health, and self-love. Her music today carries more depth, drawn from real-life wounds and healing. Before he became gospel's most controversial figure, Ringtone was a hustler who once lived in the streets of Nairobi. As his fame grew, so did his ego. But many don't know that he battled addiction and street life long before the spotlight. While most of his current fame is linked to drama and stunts, Ringtone has survived jail, poverty, and heavy alcohol use in his early days.
Alright, thank you, Willie. Now moving on, gospel artist Ringtone, whose real names are Nyanchoga Apoko, has been charged with conspiracy to defraud a woman her land, alongside his co-accused Alfred Juma Ayora. The two allegedly conspired to illegally acquire a parcel of land in Nairobi, that is block 99/142, measuring approximately 0.190 hectares and valued at 50 million shillings, belonging to Teresia Odhiambo by means of claiming adverse possession. Claiming that he had lived in the land for 2 decades, a fact that he knew to be false. Apoko's co-accused Juma Ayora faced additional counts of false swearing contrary to section 114 of the Penal Code and perjury that is contrary to section 108/1A. Both pleaded not guilty. It is not the first time that Apoko has been in trouble with the law, having been charged with assault previously.
He claims God rescued him, and despite how polarizing he is today, Ringtone says his outrageous behavior is part of his redemption story. Whether you love or hate him, his journey from the gutter to celebrity is real. Once the reigning queen of Kenyan R&B, Amani was known for hits like Bad Boy and collaborations with Nameless and AY. She had the looks, the fame, and endorsements, but behind the music was a woman slowly drowning in emptiness. In 2018, Amani shocked fans when she announced that she had given her life to Christ and quit secular music.
During the shoot, I was like, I can't do this anymore. I can't pretend. Can't be smiling when I'm not happy. I can't be acting like everything is okay when it's not. It's time to get out. And I remember when we came to a close, I was like, thank you very much. This is the last one. And that was it.
Yo, were you scared?
No.
You weren't?
No.
Had you rededicated sort of your life to God and be like, okay, God?
At that point in time in Nigeria, no.
Not. So you come back to Nairobi and what? You've just...
That's it. I was like, I'm following Jesus. I went and I enrolled for Bible school and it was a wrap.
She opened up about the pressures, identity struggles, and spiritual torment that came with fame. Today, she is a gospel artist, entrepreneur, and speaker, happier and freer than ever. Her story reminds us that walking away can be the bravest comeback. These artists are not just entertainers. They are warriors who stared death, addiction, and public shame in the face and came back standing. Their stories remind us that behind every hit song, every viral post, every luxury car is a human being with scars. Fame is fragile, but transformation is powerful. If they made it back, anyone can. Like, share, and comment your favorite comeback story. This is Radido TV, telling real stories from the Kenyan entertainment scene. Who do you think we should feature their story on our channel? leave a comment below this video. Remember to subscribe, share and like our content. Subscribe Radido TV and follow my TikTok account Radido TV 254 for more interesting stories and controversial and trending news. See you on the next episode.